Jake here for American Trucks. In this video, we're taking a look at the Air-Raid Powerade throttle body spacer fitting 2014 and newer 5.3 liter Silverado and Sierra 1500s. If you're looking for a simple mod that can increase the throttle response and overall enjoyment of your truck, then something like this throttle body spacer from Air-Raid might just be the right upgrade for you. Now let's get something straight right off the bat here. If you're looking for big power numbers or increased miles per gallon, a throttle body spacer is not going to provide you that. While you may feel a slight increase in performance, throttle body spacers typically do more for the experience of driving than anything else. Now, Air-Raid has designed this particular spacer to increase torque from just off idle at around 800 RPM to about 3000 RPM. So high RPM, horsepower, and torque gains are not the goal here. The idea is to increase airflow and mitigate some pressure within the intake by effectively increasing the length of your intake and thus the volume of air that it can hold. When an intake valve inside the head of your engine closes, it can send a high pressure wave back up through the intake manifold. And you figure intake valves are rapidly closing all the time, and when that happens, it's going to create some pressure within the intake manifold. So having this, albeit small, additional space can help relieve some of that pressure, resulting in overall better airflow and lower pressure within the manifold. Now, adding this spacer creates, well, just that, some additional space, effectively lengthening your intake manifold or your intake tube in general. And lengthening that manifold typically yields better throttle response. In this case, a little bit more torque. And since this isn't something that moves, making it a passive device, this is also going to give you consistency, and it's not going to use up any additional energy from your engine. Now, there are a few schools of thought as to whether smooth flow or turbulent flow is going to yield the best results when it comes to throttle body spacers. Air-Raid has gone for the turbulent approach, preferring to stir up the air into a sort of hurricane pattern using their patented helix bore design to spin the air coming in, thus increasing its overall velocity, which helps with air-fuel mixing. Now, Air-Raid claims that this is going to result in better part throttle torque and some more mid-range punch as well. Now, just like suspension spacers, throttle body spacers are simple, but it's important they are done right. This one is machined from 6061 T6 billet aluminum, so it's high quality, high strength, it's lightweight, it's durable, and it's also heat resistant. It also comes with the gasket that you need and some additional longer bolts to get it installed. So it makes for a quick and easy installation as well, but we'll talk more about that in a few moments. It also is finished in this nice anodized black, so it's going to look good under the hood. It's going to have a very subtle look to it. Only those who are really looking might notice the little Air-Raid logo right there. As far as price goes, this is going to run you just under $200, which pretty much puts it at the top of the category as far as throttle body spacers are concerned. However, you are getting a really nice high quality piece here, and you can see that as soon as you open the box. Installation is going to get a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and this is a pretty simple installation that should take you about an hour, maybe a little bit less. Now, like I mentioned before, new longer bolts are included in the box, so make sure you have those and don't reuse your stock ones because you are adding a bit of space here. So the stock ones aren't going to grab properly. Now, you do get a new gasket as well to replace your old one, which is a nice touch too. Overall, this is a very easy job that you can accomplish at home in your driveway or garage, and you only need a couple of common hand tools to get it done. And to show you just how to do it right now, let's hand things over to one of our AT customers.
So the tools used today for the Air-Raid throttle body spacer were a ratchet, 10mm, to get to this one right here. And also you're going to use, I use this for the other three, just a wrench and then a flathead to remove the cold air intake. Hey, how's it going? I'm Wayne from North Carolina, and today I'll be installing for American Trucks. We'll be installing the Air-Raid throttle body spacer. Looking over this, it looks like a pretty easy install, but we'll go ahead and get right into it. Directions. First thing it says is to go ahead and remove the cold air intake. I've already switched over to the Air-Raid cold air intake, so this will be a lot easier than a stock removal, but go ahead and get the cold air intake removed. And for this application, I actually have to flip one of my rings once we get done, so I might go ahead and get this out of the way. Curious to see how it sounds, if it does any sound difference once the throttle body spacer gets put on it. Whenever I installed this cold air intake, it gave a little bit more roar to it. Not too much though. I was gonna say just enough whenever you're throwing on it down the road. But I love the Air Raid product, and hopefully this throttle body spacer does the same and provides what I'm looking for. We should keep up with all your bolts. Go ahead and move that right there. So now that the throttle been removed, it's got a long enough pull on it, we can set it right up there. You put the gasket on the front of it. Go ahead and make sure to put your washers on them. Alright, now we're ready to put the application on. You want to put the Air Raid up. And right there. It goes into the throttle a little bit. Just gotta line everything up. And we're gonna go diagonal, by the way, and put the other one in so it's already lined up correctly. While I finish screwing that one in, I'm gonna go ahead and screw this one in. Alright, now that all the bolts are in, we're going to crank it on down. You just want to make sure it's a gasket sits in there right too. Alright, and then we're going to crank down this last one. Alright, throttle's back on. That's it. That's all it takes to put on the Air Raid throttle body spacer.
That's going to wrap it up here for our review and install of the Air Raid Powerade throttle body spacer fitting 2014 and newer 5.3 liter Silverado and Sierra 1500s. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, for all things Silverado and Sierra, be sure to stick with us right here at AmericanTrucks.com.